going to be continuing our conversation about managing your baby's new emotions, but today we're going to focus on how do you help them through it. The most important takeaway from today is acknowledgement is key. What I mean by that is if your baby feels joy or excitement, we want to acknowledge that. If they're feeling frustrated or they're feeling anger or sadness, we want to acknowledge that. What we tend to do in our culture is over-respond to the positive emotions and try to kind of hush away or get rid of the negative emotions. Well, as humans, we then take in thinking, wait, I'm not supposed to feel those things, so I don't know how to deal with them. Well, helping your baby really kind of foster a healthy sense of self and a strong, healthy emotional development, they need to learn how to tolerate all those feelings. So we want to show them through acknowledgement that we accept the frustration as much as we accept the joy. They're both just feelings. It doesn't have to be one good, one bad. They all exist, they all count. We want our babies to learn how to manage and tolerate them. So let's start with pause, allow them time for their own emotional reaction. A great example of this is when your baby's kind of crawling around, right? They trip up a bit and they bonk their head. We can tend to kind of take over their emotional reaction. So we jump in and say either yay and distract them out of it, or we, are you okay, are you okay? Or we immediately scoop them up to try to rescue them. And they haven't even had a chance to react to how they are emotionally feeling about bonking their head. We need to back up, pause, and give them that time. Your baby might kind of crawl around, bonk their head, kind of look around for a moment, and then go back to crawling. If we would have jumped in, we would have told the baby how to feel. The baby needs to tell us how they feel. We need to step back, stay attuned, react to our baby's emotional reactions. My next nugget is acknowledgement teaches them how to identify and label their own feelings. Okay, so the best example I can give you is my 4-year-old came home the other day and her friend Jack at school had hurt her feelings. So at 4, she could have very well gotten in the car, been grumpy, moody, hit her sister, been oppositional, but instead she gets in the car and her head slumps down and I said to her, Summer, what's going on? I can see you're having a big feeling right now. That's the first step of acknowledgement. I didn't label her feelings. I asked her what was going on so she can label them and identify them for me. And she said, Mommy, Jack said something today that hurt my feelings, so now my body is feeling very sad. Then she and I could have a dialogue about that, which is awesome with a 4-year-old. Where does that come from? Years and years of acknowledging and validating their feelings. Even with a baby, you can do it in a question form. Let's say they're reaching for a toy and they are working very hard for it, and you can tell they're starting to get frustrated. Well, a lot of times people don't like to say you're frustrated because then we're telling the baby how they're feeling. You can actually say, I see you working so hard to get that toy. I wonder if you're feeling frustrated. You can put it in a question form even with your babies. They will, as they grow up, just as Summer and my daughter Haley have done, they've been able to now identify and label their own feelings, which, trust me, as a parent, will make your life a gazillion times easier in many, many situations. Number 3 is my personal favorite. Acknowledgement through narration. Put words to your baby's emotional experiences, which can help them learn and regulate those emotions in that moment. So when you're laying your baby down, you can say, I see that you have a wet diaper. That really seems uncomfortable. Let me help you. Or I hear you calling out for daddy. Let's get him so he can help you too. We really just want to put words to things to help babies understand what's going on emotionally. It also helps with language development and cognitive development too. Next, acknowledgement motivates your baby. Feeling seen and heard is such a great way to encourage them through those difficult moments. They're going to desperately try to get to a toy and they're going to start to have a frustrated groan or kind of fuss. It's hard, kind of as my mama bear kicks in, I want to rescue my baby and bring the toy closer or help them in some way. But what I'm teaching them is that they can't handle that frustration or that they can't motivate themselves through it. So by sitting back and saying, I see how hard you're working for that toy. you're really trying. It can almost instantly regulate them, and they'll continue past the frustration, stay motivated, and conquer that task. And finally, I talked about this nugget in my last episode, that right to right brain connection that is communicating emotionally between you and your baby. It's direct communication. We do that through an empathetic response, through acknowledging and validating what their experience is, by using a really calming touch. All those things, right brain to right brain, it's key to helping your baby feel acknowledged and then being able to regulate. I get so many questions from parents about what have I found is the greatest nugget to use for their children. And I have to tell you, for both of my girls, and definitely with baby number 3 on the way, acknowledgement really is the key to helping your baby develop into a healthy child and a healthy adult emotionally, which, let's face it, is the most important thing. Thanks so much for joining me. Please post your comments and questions below. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you all next time.